just recorded this video and the whole thing deleted. It didn't save, so very stressed and very jarring. But anyway, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Nick J. Francis' channel once again. Arsenal just beat Everton 4-0 at home. Everton, of course, the team that beat us last time out with the new manager bounce with Sean Dyche. You know, lots of talk about them and in their relegation battle, and lots of talk of Arsenal potentially being rattled and dropping points and all the rest of this. And nonsense, pure nonsense. We turned around, taken them to the carpet and beat them 4-0, and they just couldn't live with us today. Martinelli got 2, Ødegaard got 1, Saka got 1. And for the first 25-30 minutes, it was a little bit slow. We weren't really breaking them down the way that I wanted to see us breaking them down. But once we got our confidence, you can clearly see when we're getting confident, because when we start to interchange positions, when we start to see Martinelli and Trossard switching positions and Zinchenko taking up that midfield position, that's when you know the confidence is growing. And once that happens, it's only a matter of time before we start getting shots on target and getting goals off. We had 5 shots on target, and of those 5 shots on target, 4 of them were goals. So once we start breaking teams down, get in front of them, start getting shots on target, we're going to get goals. We know that we have so much talent. I thought Jorginho was very good today, breaking the lines with that passing, which is exactly what he's in there to do. You know, defensively, he's not as sound as Thomas Partey, but going forwards, he can break those lines, and that's what he did. One slide pass straight into Saka's feet, turn, bang, and the defence was nowhere to be seen. Like I say, Martinelli with 2 goals as well. One of them shouts for offside, but it wasn't offside, and it's a brilliantly taken goal. And, you know, then obviously Ødegaard coming in and getting the icing on the cake. And by the end of the game, we were cruising. You know, the fans were cheering "Ole, Ole" in the stands for about 20 minutes of the game. It was complete cruise control, to be honest with you. You know, they didn't really lay a glove on us. They had 1 or 2 attacks, but the defence soaked that up pretty easily. Aaron Ramsdale, when he was called in and needed to make a save, that's exactly what he did. He made that save, and you know, you just can't fault him. You just can't fault this team at the moment. One of the big positives as well is seeing players returning from injury. So Thomas Partey came back and played 45. Emile Smith-Rowe came back and played about 10-15 minutes. And for us to go and grind out these results, yes, we lost to Manchester City, but to keep this run going and be top of the table without a fully fit squad is huge. You know, that front three of Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, we've only seen that 5, maybe 6 times in the league, and we've won every single game. Every time they've started together, we've won. And we add Trossard into the mix, who knows what can happen. You know, we've got an Nketiah on form, we've got Trossard, he plays multiple positions. You know, that link up is going to be insane. I'm really excited to see Jesus back in the team, but I'm also excited to see Jesus up top with Saka and Trossard either side of him, because the interlinking positional play will just be huge because of the styles of these guys, and the way that they play will be unbelievable. Fabio Vieira coming on and getting minutes is huge. Kieran Tierney stepping in and trying to play that kind of Zinchenko role. He didn't quite look super confident in there, but I'm not going to judge him for that yet. I want to see if he can do that role long term, because I would like to see him stay at the club, because there's huge talk and huge possibilities of us replacing him with someone who's a little bit more built for that style of football. Like I said, he didn't look super comfortable, but it's his first time trying it, so we won't judge him too harshly. And yeah, once we got going and once we got confident, you know, it just didn't really look like they were ever going to come back. You know, they never looked like they were. Maybe they looked like they could score 1, maybe, but the fight wasn't there, the belief wasn't there, and it's worrying for them, because they have the worst goal difference of any of the teams in the relegation battle, so they really could be going down. And it would make Sean Dyche a really smart signing for them, because obviously, you know, he's got that experience of bringing teams back to the Premier League from the Championship. But in terms of us and focusing on what we do, we're now level on games with Man City. That was the game in hand that had been postponed for a long time. We're all on 25 games now. Well, us and Man City, we're both on 25 games. We're still 5 points ahead, and people said after injuries it wouldn't happen. You know, we've lost Partey, we lost Jesus, we're going to bottle it. Then they said, you know, there's always excuses and narratives when it comes to us. Do you know what I mean? When we lost to Everton, oh, you know, the wheels are going to fall off, or whatever the case may be. We're 4 games on from that now, 4 or 5 games on from that now, and we're back at the top again, 5 points clear. So, you know, 13 games left in the league, plus European games. 13 games left in the league. We just have to focus on grinding out results. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0. The 1-0 against Leicester was a fantastic result, because what that does, you need 1-0s against Leicester and you need 4-0s against Everton. You need both. One is when the team's on full form, playing with confidence and just in the flow, and they're very easy to it's easy for us to pick up goals and to pick up wins in that type of scenario. And the other with Leicester is when the game is really, really tough and you have to break a team down, which we struggled to do against Newcastle, but we just grind out a 1-0. We can grind through a 1-0 and take that and move on and live to fight another day. And those are the experiences that we need. We've only lost 3 games all season. We've lost the least amount of games after 25 league games than anybody this season. Man City's lost 4, and they've lost 1 more than us. They draw 1 more than us. So we have been the on-form team across 25 games. Yes, they are flat-pack bullies. They can play 1 week and smash somebody 4-5-6-0, but as can we. We've shown that we can do that, and we've been operating for the majority of the season without a fully fit squad. So that's the scary hours for the rest of the league. I think when Jesus comes back fully fit, Smith Rowe comes back fully fit, and just to be clear, when I'm talking about Smith Rowe coming back, I'm not just talking about him as a player. I'm talking about the amount of minutes rest we can give to Ødegaard. That means that every week, if we take off Ødegaard after 65 minutes and we're winning and we bring Smith Rowe on, then the next week that we play, Ødegaard comes on completely fresh. Same with Trossard, same with Gabby Jesus, same with Martinelli. We don't quite have a natural cover for Saka at the moment. Maybe Reece Nelson could do a job there. But amongst that, with Trossard in there, that means that we can rest and rotate Martinelli, Gabby Jesus, whatever the case may be. Same with Partey. Having Jorginho means we get more out of Partey. Partey might lose minutes, but he doesn't have the whole responsibility to hold down the DM position. That means that he can come on and play a lot fresher and a lot fitter a lot more of the time. Although there's talk of us cashing in on him in the summer, we'll talk about that another time. But for right now, Jorginho coming on and subbing in, he done 45 minutes, Jorginho today, and then Partey came in and done the second 45 minutes. That type of rotation is what's going to keep the players really, really fresh. Same as Zinchenko. If we have a left back that can cover, like Tierney can come in, just give him 25 minutes to start that recovery time a little bit earlier, and he can come in and be fresh for the next game. So the stars are aligning for us. They really, really are. 13 games left. We are in the driver's seat at this particular moment. We've only lost 3 games this season. This team doesn't really know what it's like to lose games. It's very rare for them to lose games, and that's really, really important. Man City have all of the quality. They have 4 Premier League titles in the last 5 years. They have an unbelievable. They have the best striker in the world. They've got Pep Guardiola. They've got a lot of things going for them. But we have a lot of things going for us as well. We have to focus on our game across the next 13 games. And I think that we are really in the driver's seat. Whichever way you slice it, we will be back in the Champions League next season. And we should have a trophy. Whether that trophy is Europa League or Premier League, I would prefer the Premier League. But we should be in the Champions League with a trophy this season. That, from this point on, that should be the goal. Anything underneath that is, I'm not going to call it bottling, but it's an underachievement from this position now. 13 league games left. That's all it is. We have to keep counting them down and knocking them out of the park. A couple of the big wigs, the teams that are closest to us, the teams that are 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the league are Man City, Man United and Tottenham. We got done with those teams. I think Newcastle's there as 5th. I think we've played Newcastle twice. I think. And we still got to play Liverpool again. I think we played Brighton twice. So some of the big teams that are going to be real threats to us, we've already played twice. So they should be out of the way. And now we can go in and get that rhythm. That 4-0 game was really important to get that flow, get that flexibility in, and really, play top saucy football. And that 1-0 against Leicester is really important to show us how to grind out a result. We're going to need both across the season. One of the criticisms I've had of Arteta in the past is not rotating in the game. He has a set game plan before the game, and he doesn't really make necessary adjustments during the game, like I see Ten Hag do, for example. Ten Hag's very, very good at that. However, for the early part of the season, we haven't had those players. Post-January, we've had those players to be able to do that. With a fully fit squad, now we're seeing Arsenal back towards a fully fit squad. We're starting to see him make more rotations in the game and starting to address the game. As the game is being played, he's starting to make decisions that are going to benefit us and think his way through the game. Before, he wasn't really able to do that with the squads that we had before. So now we're able to do that, and we're starting to see him do it. So I'm really glad to see that growth in him. Still a young team, still a young manager, and there is a level or two to go from this team. But yeah, we must be the firm favourites now to win the Premier League title. 13 games left. I'm going to keep saying it. 13 games left in the league. Can we do it? I think that we can do it. I think that we should be favourites to do it at this point in time. We still have so much talent to come back into this team. We've got to go for it. Peace.